Well, I guess it's over. I guess it's all she wrote. I guess the Minnesota Timberwolves about to be in the arms of the Angels because, look, they could win at home, but I'm just saying the way the defending champs looking like they got their foot on their neck and they just waiting for that, 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 and then it's done. Like, wrap. I like they, the score was close until like it wasn't to at the very end. They always get close, but never enough. Um, should I go with the praise or should I go with the slander? You know what? I'm gonna go with the praise. Then I was like my thoughts on the game, and then I'm gonna get to the slander. So praise is gonna start off. Christian Braun. Hey, I was like, he gave them some. I was like, he gave them energy. He gave them intensity. I was like, even though he ain't shoot the ball well, and he was sort of afraid until that 1-3 went in. I was like, he was still aggressive, and also too, with him comes the combo to me of Coach Malone, because unlike the Timberwolves, which can't even say they ain't got their coach. Got their coach sitting behind. He's still there. He's still in the back there. I was like, he got a leg to stand on, but he ain't over here using it. Coach Malone deciding to use Braun and then stick with Braun, especially during the rest of the game, to me is one of them things where he outcoached. Just one of the ways he outcoached I was like the Timberwolves, because Porter ain't got it. When he don't play the Lakers, he ain't got it. So he ain't have it. He ain't have it mostly this series. So he ain't got it. And guess what? I was like, Braun got in. Change the whole dynamic. Because at least he gonna play defense. He may not give you offense, but guess what? You don't really need him to give you offense. But he's also gonna go to the basket. Porter ain't gonna do that. So that's already one thing from the Timberwolves, because Timberwolves had a weakness and they decided to keep on just letting that be exploited. So, but that's that part, the slander part. Justin Holiday, I was like been giving him good minutes throughout the whole thing. Been like the only like him and Reggie Jackson been like really consistent off the bench. Giving some points, giving some defense. I was like, I think also him, because I was like, if you look at it, I was like, he's 6'6", but he's also long, so he can also still be, he could be used in a way where it's like the other Timberwolves don't. I mean, not the Timberwolves, Nuggets aren't really long like that. It's like Porter, like Gordon is, but everybody else is sort of like their height. They got their height, but they don't really have like crazy length or nothing like that. In the same way. So I was like, props to him, knocking down threes when he's supposed to. Reggie Jackson, I was like going to the basket and stuff like that, just giving him a spell, giving him another ball. Look, he also ain't scared either. Aaron Gordon, I was like, he always been like the utility man, because I was like, he's really like their Andre Iguodala type of player. But him being aggressive scoring, I think, is what really is the change of the team, because he has the potential to do that. I was like, he was the number one option in Orlando for a long time. So it's not like he doesn't have that there, the same way that like Iguodala did. But he actually he actually takes it upon himself. He's not just also just like waiting for that's a spot up three or something like that, or just the lobs. Like, no, he's actually taking the jump shots. He's actually like putting some pressure on the defense. So instead of just being there, so I was like, that's really props there. I like Jamal had an okay game. It wasn't what was it, 4 or nothing like that, but I was like, or it was the last 2 games. That's what I'll say. And I was like, Caldwell hit timely threes, but let's go to the MVP. And me, I was like, I always got some junk to talk about Jokic. I was like, look, they compared his ass to the 7 Hall of Famers tonight, and I swear they do be over here gawking for some Jokic, but it's like it's really not even really Jokic. Let's be honest. Like, I was like, I'm gonna be honest, it's not really Jokic that I actually have a problem with. I think he's actually phenomenal. I was like, the way that even though he doesn't have the athleticism, like jumping out the gym type of thing like that, he's so crafty and nifty, and his touch is just so soft that he should be a damn quarterback. The way that he sometimes is able to throw that thing up, and it's so soft, and it's just like the equivalent of his layup is like dropping in the breadbasket. That's like he's really good at that, and he knows when to use athleticism. Like like you've seen it tonight with his dunks and stuff like that. And it's aggressive. He also seemed like he actually wanted. But I was like, it's really the media's way of how they talk about him. And sometimes I wonder if they talk about him because his personality hasn't been there, or the way that he is about everything, that they sort of have to pump him up more. Like like I was like, think about the last few set of MVPs, and I was like, to me, I can't think of anybody that really talks about like this really since like Steph year where he won his first one. Maybe like a little bit like early on LeBron, maybe, but even then, he wasn't getting this where they was like, look at him, he's Magic, he's Larry, he's Shaq, he's Hakeem, he's Kareem. Like they were just rattling off. I was like, look at his whole game, and I was like, okay, y'all are way doing too much like this. I was like, y'all don't have any y'all not really doing any perspective here. But hey, you got to big up the MVP sometimes. And I was like, guess what? There was gonna be a game to do it. It was different because this dude is you. Gobert was Kendrick in this situation because the way he was over here busting Gobert's ass, you would have thought Gobert said something about his family. That's how he said it. Like, oh, you brought those kids into this now. I gotta let all the reins off and I gotta let loose. That's how he did this. That's how he went at Gobert. And by God, he like it's like he took something personal. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just like he heard that some of the letters didn't line up with the defensive player of the year, DPOY, or the MVP. I don't know what it was, but he was roasting that man in a way. And don't get me wrong, I was like, the slander gonna come from Gobert more than what I'm about to do here, because I was like, I'm giving Jokic his prop. But I was like, he was having that dude looking like a washing machine. I was like, where he was just rotating him. I was like, he was just bodying him. I was like, he like backing him down. I was like, we talk about Gobert. I mean, not Gobert. Well, we talk about Jokic with like not being out on like athletic and stuff like that. He doesn't really jump and all that other stuff. But the way he was dunking and the way he was moving, we gotta give that same thing to Gobert, because Gobert ain't doing over here. Gobert just 7'2", 7'4", whatever you want to say. I was like, however tall he is, I was like, he unathletic. He ain't doing nothing. I was like, you can't be that tall, and it never matters on any shot contest with Jokic. And I was like, yes, it's that good with Jokic, but anyway, but Jokic was like, I got the MVP, and see, and this is what I mean with and sometimes when I go at Jokic, is that y'all give him in praise and stuff like that, and I'm not saying it's not warranted, but this is the thing I meant where I'm like, his first couple games, he didn't play well. Like, even then this is sometimes where I know that some of y'all just look at the stat line, because I'm like, yeah, you could look at the stat line, but I was like, look at Anthony Edwards tonight. I was like, you'd be like, oh man, he had 25 points. I was like, somewhere around there. You'd be like, oh man, but if you look at the game, it's no, he ain't played good. And the same thing with Jokic. It's like, oh man, look at him. He got like 28, and I was like, yeah, but I was like, that doesn't mean that he played well. Then the next game he didn't play well, and I'm like, nobody talked about it. Nobody said anything about it at all. And I'm like, who do we not do this with? We kill everybody. LeBron, Embiid, KD. We killed Steph. I was like, we killed so many people if they would have had when they have that type of game. And we ain't say nothing with Jokic, and that's sort of my ordeal. But this game, when I say I'm like, where's Jokic putting the team on his back game? Not him playing good or playing great and his teammates is playing. Where's his game where he puts them on his back? And I was like, he did. I was like, don't get me wrong, he did that in the last game as well too. But this game was him putting that team on his back. I was like, he was over here carrying those dudes. Because I was like, Gordon came to play, and that was really about it here. But I was like, he was like, no, they ain't getting no run. They ain't get. I was like, when they score a point, I want to score 5. Like he's like, no, I'm not letting them have any ounce of hope in this, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean by like him having that type of dominance type of game. That's what I'm saying when I'm asking for or whatever. When he gonna be a 3-time MVP and y'all are like putting him in great greats before he even has some of these MVPs. Y'all putting him in great great. Well, it's like cool, but I know them great greats. I know they put that damn team on their back. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what he did. Jokic came out and he made everybody look like, hey, inexperienced, young, you dumb, you a fool, I hate you, and you kind of cool. That's it. That so Jokic, hey, I was like, I know there was maybe a couple back-end compliments in there, and that really just me just talking about what I said before in the past more so than anything, more so than like, but yo, big ups to him because I was like, yo, tonight that he was that dude. Now, overall the game, I think the Nuggets had a really great plan. One that the Timberwolves had tried on Denver, but it doesn't work the same way. Where it's like they were double teaming and blitzing Anthony Edwards, and I think this is where you see like this is where it's like, okay, he's still young, because there was a lot of times where they were double teaming him and stuff like that, where it's like, just make the pass, don't bring the ball up, don't do this, don't do that. And that's also where coaching is that you seem like it's like, okay, they've been like, the fact that in the fourth quarter it was still getting you, I was like, okay, cool. I know you ain't got your rhythm and stuff like that, and you're forcing some things, but I was like, somebody else got to bring the ball up. You got to make quick decisions, and to me, that's like a learning thing, kind of, or whatever. So I was like, that was a good. Cause I was like, they try to do that with Jokic, and it doesn't work with Jokic because I was like, he's not he's not a scorer. I was like, he's a passer. I was like, Jokic is someone who can score, but he rather pass. Anthony Edwards is a scorer, and he may pass. So that's why I'm like, that doesn't work against Jokic. It's better just to play Jokic straight up. Like, it's better for Jokic to try to get like 34 and have like 3 assists. It's better like that than for Anthony Edwards to have 34 and 3 assists. You know what I'm saying? So I think that game plan was better. I thought the Timberwolves at times were able to do enough good stuff, but they just never stuck to anything, because I thought they was a lot better on Jamal Murray in this game. They stuck to him a lot more. I was like, they went more aggressively at him as well. But I was like, they're playing with everybody else. I was like, well, with Aaron Gordon, they haven't figured out the Aaron Gordon thing. Let's be honest, and I think that's going to go a little bit to the other part. But I also think I was like, also some of this too was shot making. And I was like, they almost looked like Dallas in an extent where it's like they were just missing shots, and they were just missing, and it was short on a lot of stuff. Some of it was they just missed a shot, and then some of it was y'all gotta play better. Y'all gotta play. Y'all, I like. All right, we're just gonna go to the slant because I can't. I was like, coaching. I was like, this is coaching, but I will say that I was like, the refs. I don't understand anything in this game of a foul, and I'm saying because they have let them play pretty rough with each other, and then some of the fouls they call for, and this is for both teams, it's really ticky-tack, and it's really like, so they get mauled doing this, but then right here when you call the foul, okay. Then, but I thought it was really a wrap once Coach Malone said that thing about Rudy Gobert hitting the hell out of Justin Holiday, which that was a foul, which, Gobert, you're a whole foot almost taller than this dude. Back his ass down. You could easily. I ain't talking about you ain't got to do a sky hook, but this is what the thing that pissed me off is I seen later on in the game, I was like, he didn't go to the paint, but he was pretty far away that he just sort of just like did the jump shot, but just a little bit like almost like a teardrop, but not really. And I'm like, bitch, you couldn't have been doing that the whole game. And I'm like, you over here having to do that to Justin Holiday. I'm like, dude, you bigger than him. Like, what you doing this for? I was like, they didn't call it, but I'm like, just back his little ass down. Just go. Oh, you don't even have to dunk it. Just just drop it. That's all you gotta do. But anyway, since Cole Malone pointed that out, guess what? After that, it was just like 3 or 4 straight offensive foul. And I think that really turned the tide of the game because one, those people that did it, McDaniel, Reed, Cat, and whatnot, foul trouble. And that's some of their key players. Well, of course, it's key players. But I was like, they're offensive players. So I think that changed the game, especially because like some of those, I'm like, they don't really call those half-assy where it's like you do the Euro step and you're able to sideways on them. They don't normally call those, but they was calling them all. And I was like, I do think the tide did turn for Denver to get a lot of like those calls that normally wouldn't probably really be called. And I'm not talking about I'm like the ones that wouldn't really just be called, not really ones that were like it go either way. But that's also coaching. I was like, I can't get mad at Malone for that. That's more at the refs. The coaching. Rudy Gobert was been getting his ass beat up. I don't care what it says about those points where it's like he got like 14 points. It's like those aren't where it's like it's luxury. No, that's not what that is. But keeping him in the game when he is getting his butt roasted, no. I was like, Nas Reed was getting in foul trouble, but I'd rather have him getting in foul trouble and just play with him and Cat, really, to be honest, than what Gobert was giving. Because I was like, don't get me wrong, Cat also played poor and he played bad, but I at least like the threat of Cat offense and whatever he was giving you on defense versus Gobert giving you what he was giving you on defense and no offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like if Gobert's not stopping anybody, Cat's not stopping anybody. But guess what? Cat at least is going to be able to do something offensively. I'm like, Nas Reed in there is going to be able to give me some offensively and defensively. Gobert's not really giving me either. So it's really like, what's the point? I thought they should have also played Monte Morris a little bit more. Because I thought he started to actually get the bucket. That he also started being he's another ball handler. And I thought he was getting a lot of his shots. I was like, he was getting in the rhythm. And I was like, to where I was like, I know they wanted to spread out the minutes. But to me, I'm like, why you didn't play? You should have played him and Alexander at the same time. That way you didn't have that way you could have Alexander also just be a scoring role instead of having to bring the ball up as well too. And it just messing with some lineups as well too, because I'm like have those two in there with Anthony Edwards. That way Anthony Edwards has 2 other people to bring the ball up and play the guard spot. You didn't feel Conley. I was like the missing of Conley as much. I was like Kyle Anderson. I was like he hadn't been like particularly playing well. I was like him not taking any shots. I think it's hurt them. He hadn't even been doing like his probably his better ability of playing being like a point guard, because I was like, you should be able to use him in some of these situations as well too. But I still sort of rather have him to go Bear. I'm like I'm just like they didn't play with none of the lineups at all that I thought they could do. Where I'm like, what they sort of did in the first game, where it's like they was like, we got enough big people to play with y'all, and they didn't. Anthony Edwards did not play well at all. I was like, after his great game last one, I was like, there was a fall off here. But I was like, I'm not going to really put that on him in the same way I know everybody else did, just because of the whole Jordan thing and everybody loves him and stuff like that. But I will say the way that y'all going at Ant, I was like, how y'all don't understand that people can't go at Jokic when it's like the same thing. Well, I get that he hadn't really been anointed in that same way, even though he has been anointed. But I was like, I'm not going to put on him like that. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, hey, I'm going to give you praise. You came out, you played. I was like, you shot the ball well, you went at them or whatever. I was like, you're still giving on defense. McDaniels, I was like, your defense been okay, but you haven't been what you was. I was like, your shot hadn't been there. You've been leaving stuff short. Um, Karl Anthony Towns. I was like, look, you're not like. Unfortunately, if you gotta put it on him. If you want to win, and he hadn't been giving it to you, his shots been coming up short. I was like, he's still doing dumb fouls, even though some of them ain't been counted. But I was like, we fell for it again. We fell for it again with Karl. That hey, you might win this if he playing like this, and guess what? He ain't playing like that. So I was like, so you gotta. That to me, I'm like, the thing is, I'm like, guess what? I was like, Jokic, Jamal Murray. I was like, everybody still needs their second player, even if they can put the team on their back or whatever. But I'm like, if Anthony doesn't get help from nobody, which he didn't really last game, and I was like, he didn't play well here, but I was like, there was nobody else that also really stepped up. But I was like, it was a close game, but I was like, I felt like that was really because Denver wasn't playing really well either. Um, and like I said, Karl, if you're not giving me offense, you're not really giving me no defense. You're just a big body. But that mug Gobert, you was getting a shot, as they all say, barbecue chicken, cause you were rotisserie. You were just there was nothing you can do. You you got it for 4 times, and I know it's regular season 1. I know what everybody's saying. I was like, look, I'm not saying that I need him to be like match up 1-on-1 all the time, but geez, I was like, it wasn't just that. Cause I was like, if you got ate up by Jokic, we can sort of understand, but you ain't stopped Jokic none times. Not just that, but I was like, you were getting out rebounded. I was like, you was getting stopped by like people like Justin Holiday and stuff like that. You wasn't backing nobody down. You can't back nobody down. I was like, you did that little jump shot at the end, and that pissed me off more because you could have been doing more of that, but you ain't done nothing of that. Okay, cool. I was like, you messing up your lobs and stuff. I'm like, dude, you ain't rebound. Like, what if you can't rebound the ball as much? What are you here for? What are you doing, dog? You over here? You a tree that can't produce fruit. What you here for? Nobody trying to see you. Like, if you ain't doing nothing, man. I was like, look, he still got them questions. I was like, he's gonna be one of them weird, intriguing players that's gonna be hard to describe in a real way. But I was like, I seen how everybody was talking, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that. Look, why did they lose the game? Did Anthony ever play bad? Yeah. Did Cat play bad? Yeah. But I'll say that Gobert the reason they lost the game, just because you didn't get nothing out of him for stuff. Just really, to be honest, I was like, you look at the numbers. I was like, yeah, he's a tall dude, but I'm like, Jamal Murray's not scared once he got you on the matchup. I was like, if nobody's scared, I was like, nobody. They're still over here dunking Gordon, trying to dunk on his head. That means you ain't scary, bro. I was like, Jokic out here running the floor and he dunking. He dunking. And we over here like, he can't jump, but he dunking. What you doing? Jokic getting all these rebounds, but what you doing? Gordon getting all these rebounds, but what you doing? I was like, bruh, you just elbows out here. You just a skeleton frame in a meat suit. That's all you is right now. And they cooking you. So, anyway, it's a wrap. It's a good story for a minute. Hopefully we get one more. We get to go to a game 7 just because I think it'd be cool or whatever like that. I'm not. I was like, I'm not hopeful, but hey, we'll see. Anyway, to the next game. Peace.